Let us work on understanding the concept of profit and loss, and along with that, we will also try to understand how to calculate the profit or loss as in the percentage value. Okay. So consider this scenario that let's say there is a bank of you that you have a lot of money to conduct some business. Okay. And in this process, you buy some goods. Okay. And when you buy some goods, what happens to the money that you have? It goes away from you, equivalent to the amount you paid for, right? And let's say there is a term, the CP, it means cost price. That is what you have paid for to buy some goods. And the cash flow, the direction of the cash flow is negative because it's going away from you, right? And at the same time, now you have bought some goods, you want to sell those goods, and when you do that, you sell them at certain price, and that is called SP. That means selling price. And when that happens, the money comes to you. That means the cash flow is positive now. Okay. So now that you have two numerical values, what will happen? You will simply try to compare these two values, right? To determine whether you lost money or whether you made money. So think about this, that whenever the selling price is bigger than the cost price, you will say that we made some money in this transaction, and that money will be equivalent to the differential in the selling price versus the cost price, correct? And whenever you run into a situation that you say that the cost price has become bigger than the selling price, so you will say that now I have lost money because simply the cost price is bigger than the selling price, and this differential will tell us how much we have lost, correct? There could be one unique scenario, and that scenario will be when selling price is equal to the cost price. And there is a specific term for that. We call that term as your break even point, meaning the differential of the selling price and the cost price is equal to 0. That means neither you made money nor you lost any money. Okay. So this is how you will calculate your profit or loss. There is one more concept you need to learn about the same thing, and that is basically defining your profit and loss with respect to some value, because whatever you compare, you always compare it against some baseline, right? And that is why it is very crucial for you to understand that how do you actually define what is your percentage gain or percentage loss. And that is simply finding a ratio of your profit or loss with respect to the cost price, and then multiply that ratio with 100, and that gives you your percentage gain or percentage loss. And the reason we divide this gain or loss with the cost price is because you think logically that whatever money you have made or whatever money you have lost, it is with respect to how much money you invested to begin with. And that investment is only measured by the cost price. Okay. So as simple as it is, this is the concept of profit and loss. This is how you calculate the net value of profit or loss, and this is how you will calculate the profit or loss as in percentage with respect to the cost price. Okay, now let us go through some examples to understand this concept a little better. So our scenario is this: if the cost price of an article is $65 and the selling price is $50, find the profit or loss in this transaction and calculate the profit and loss as percentage in this trade. Okay, so let's identify what is given to us. First, we'll write our cost price, CP, and that is $65, correct? Then we will identify what is our selling price, and selling price SP is equal to $50 right here. Okay, so compare these two numbers. We simply find that the SP, the selling price, is less than the cost price, right? That means it is a situation of a loss, not of profit, correct? And how much is that loss? That loss is equal to the cost price minus the selling price, right? We are subtracting the lower number from the higher number, and that becomes equal to 65 minus 50, which is $15. All right. Now we know how much we have lost in this transaction. That answers first part of the question. Now, second part of the question is how much is the percentage of loss in this transaction? Okay. So we will say that the percentage loss is equal to the value of the loss with respect to the cost price times 100. That is the basic formula, correct? And that will be equal to $15 over $65, right? Multiply it with 100, and that will be 23.07%. We are defining this loss up to 2 decimal points, okay? Now, since this is a very low number in decimal, if you were asked to round up this loss or round down this loss, you will come up with this answer that it is equal to 23%. Both of these answers might be right depending on what is being asked, okay? But the key point is, this is how you calculate the value of the loss or the profit, and this is how you calculate the percentage loss or profit. Okay, so this is where we will pause today, and we will proceed to our next tutorial in understanding how to calculate the selling price in a certain transaction if you have been given everything else.